Hi guys, welcome to the tutorial. Today we are going to be making this cool, funny, quirky background. Now you can use as many elements in it as you want. I've used 3 here, but if you wanted to use, 23, you certainly can. You can use logos, text, patterns, whatever you want. So let's get into it. The first thing you'll need is a Fusion composition. I've already got one set up here. But if you don't have one, come up here to the right hand side in your media pool, right click and hit create new Fusion composition, and then drag it in. Once you've got it inside, right click on it and hit open in the Fusion page. First thing we need to do is drag in a background, and we're going to connect that across like that. We're going to click on that background and take the alpha all the way down to 0. Now for our little individual animations, we actually need 3 backgrounds. So I'm going to drag in one. Now clicking on that background, if I come over to the right under image, you'll see it's set to 1920 by 1080, and we don't want that. We want it to be 384 by 216. And the reason that I've come up with that size is because that is 20% the size of the composition. I'm actually going to copy that 3 times. I'm going to right click on it and hit copy, Control V to paste, click in a blank area, Control V to paste. On this first one I'm going to add a text node, so I'm going to come across the toolbar and drag in a text node and connect it across. Clicking on the text node, I'm going to come into the window on the right hand side and type in the letter A. I'm going to click on the background there and put the dot in the window. Clicking back on the text, what we need to do is increase the size about there. But to change the color, we're actually going to use the background. So click on the background, come over to the color and click here and give it a color that you like. I like a bright color because it blossoms very well. We're now going to animate that, and the best way to animate it with text for me anyway is with a transform node. So clicking on the text, come up to the toolbar and hit transform like that. We're going to go to frame 0. We're going to click on the size, the angle. We're going to come across to frame 60, and we're going to do the same thing again, angle and size. On the angle, we're now going to change it to 360. Now when I play it back, we get that, which is pretty cool, but we can have some fun with it. So we're going to go to frame 30. I'm going to change this amount down to 0.3, like so. Now when I play it back, very cool. What we need to do now though is soften out the keyframes and make it repeatable. So click on the transform, coming up to the spline tool just here, click on the transform here, come up to these 2 arrows here and hit zoom to fit. Now, if you go down to the toolbar at the bottom and hover over this one here, it says select all, so click that and then hit S to smooth. Now we need that to repeat, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit repeat. Oh, pressed the wrong one there. We're going to hit repeat like that. No, I don't want that one. We're going to use ping pong actually. Very cool. Right, let's move on to our next one. So for this one, we're going to create a shape. So what I'll do is I'll click on it, come up to the toolbar and click on the rectangular mask like so. Make sure it's in the window by clicking on this dot just here and you'll get this. We don't actually want a square, we want a outline of a square. So click on the rectangular mask, come up to here. Where it says solid, just turn that off. Then what you can do is if you move the border width here, we'll do it to about there. Change the color, let's go on the background node, come over here and we'll give it a nice pinkish hue, something like that. Right, we need to animate that. So clicking on the rectangle, what we'll do is we'll go to frame 80. We are going to click a keyframe on the angle. We're going to go to frame 0. We're going to click a keyframe on the angle, go back to frame 80 and we'll make that minus 360 this time. Let's see what that looks like. Now one thing you'll notice here is it just goes off the edge of the image just there, and you can't have that because it destroys the illusion. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to frame 40 and we're going to bring the size down, and how you do that is if I move the width just here, you'll see it's only moving the width. We don't want that. Actually, you know what? Yes, we do want that. So let's click on the width, go through to the next frame, frame 80, click on the width again. I'm using the angle button here because we set it up as the first one. But there we are, we're at frame 0, and then click width again, go to frame 40. I'm going to change the width down to something like that. And now when we play it, we get that. Again, we need to smooth out the keyframe, so clicking on the rectangle tool, we're going to go up to the spline graph here, hit our tool to select everything. Oh, forgot to hit zoom to fit. Hit zoom to fit. We've selected everything by hitting this S. Let's do that again. So hit this and then hit S to smooth. That's what we need. And then what we'll do is we will create a looping animation by clicking that one. Let's see if that works. So instead of using ping pong this time, I actually used set loop. Right, for our final one, we're actually going to use a logo. So I'm going to click on our effects, our media pool just here, and drag in this logo just here. Drag it in like that. Because it's a logo, I'm going to rename it. So F2, we'll call it logo. Make sure you've got it in the window by clicking this background node just here. And let's change the color of that. So I'm going to come over to the right hand side. I've selected the background, come over to the right hand side. This do orange. I like orange. There we are, and we need to animate that too. So what we'll do is go to frame 70. We'll need to add a transform to it because it's a bitmap. So clicking on the logo, come up to the toolbar and hit transform, which is this one here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the size right down to 0 and click a keyframe. We're also going to click a keyframe on the angle. We're going to go right through to frame 0. Same again. Click, click. Let's go to frame 35. Just there. Let's make the size 1.2. Like that. And let's change the angle as well. We'll make the angle 360. Let's just check that. Now just there it clips. So we're going to have to bring that size down. So go to that keyframe, frame 35. Let's bring that size down to 0.9 like that. And let's just check that again. Wonderful. Need to smooth out that, so clicking on the transform, go up to the spline tool just here, hit zoom to fit, use the select all button, hit S to smooth, and we'll do a ping pong on this one, and let's just check that. Right, the hard part is out of the way, people. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect it all to a switch node. So click in the blank area, shift space bar. You're looking for a switch. Would help if I could spell it. That one there. So click on that. I'm going to add that. We're going to come to our text node here and we're going to drag the background node into it like that. Clicking on the switch, come over to the config section here and change that to text. We're going to drag our rectangular one, connect that across like that. Click on the switch again, come over to here, change that to box. Now, when I grab this one here and try to connect it across, it is not having it. It does not want it. It is no node. Yeah, I like Python. What can I say? The reason for that is you need to click on the switch, come across here, and where it says number of inputs, you need to change that to 3 or to how many images or animations you're putting in. Then I can take this, connect it over like that, and it's happy as Larry. And what we'll do is we'll call that logo. Then when I come back to the controls, we can see text box logo and we can animate that. Right, next thing we need to do is add a transform. Let's click on the switch here, come up to here and add a transform. We need to connect that into a merge. Clicking on the transform, select merge just here, and then take this, merge from here and connect it into the background. We also need to add a background to this one as well. So click on that, drag in a background, and just do that, and just make sure the alpha is all the way down to 0. Now what we need to do, and this is really important, we need to take our logo, our animations, and make sure that they fit properly. Clicking on this transform here, using the X and Y function over here, what we're going to do is drag that over and then bring it all the way down like so. I've left one block. I've left a bit of space there, and the reason I've done that is you need to check that none of them go outside the screen. So the A is okay. Let's go to the switch node, change it to the box. Bit close. but it doesn't go out. Let's check the logo. So clicking on the switch again, swap to the logo. One thing to be careful of after you've checked the corner like that is that the inputs are correct. So this is coming in as the foreground and this is coming in as the background. We need to swap those. So click on the merge and hit swap inputs like that. We can now add a duplicate node. So by clicking on the merge, you can hit Shift spacebar and type in DUP and it comes up here. Now on my system, it brings in the wrong duplicate, so I have to manually bring it in from the effects panel here. Now make sure it is connected. Right, so we've got the duplicate selected. Come over to the right hand side and you'll see it says 2. We're going to change that to 9. And we have 9, but they're all sitting in the same place. So what we need to do is then come down to this center X and Y, and if we move the X, look at that. And we need to be careful of what I said before, that it doesn't go off screen. So just check the animations. Yeah, let's check the box. See there, it's gone off screen. So we need to come back on that duplicate there. To about there. Let's check that. And now finally clicking back on the switch, we're going to check the logo. Just make sure that that doesn't go off screen. Right, so we've got one duplicate done for going across left to right. We need to add another one. So Shift spacebar, type in duplicate and add your duplicate. Again, I have to drag it in from the... What we're going to do is come across to here. Clicking on this duplicate, what we're going to do is we're going to change that to 5. Instead of moving in the x-axis, we're going to move it in the y, like so. And again, we have to be careful that it doesn't go off screen when animating. Let's just quickly check everything. So I'm going to check the box, which seems to be the big one. Look at that, very cool. Let's check the text. The sod's law states if you don't check it, it's the one that's going to not work. No, we are all fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have some amazing fun here. We click on this merge here and go Shift spacebar and type in DVE. This is where some of the real magic happens. One of my favorite nodes this is. So clicking on the DVE node, if we come across to the right hand side, you'll see we've got rotation, shear and all this. So I can rotate it in the X, can rotate it in the Y and the Z. Have a wonderful amount of fun. So let's go to there, go to frame 0, and we're going to click keyframes on these like that. We're going to go to the last frame and we're going to move it slightly. Let's bring it across like that and like that, and it's automatically created the keyframes. Just to be super professional, click on the spline tool up here, hit zoom to fit, select all your keyframes and hit S to smooth. Now the next question, or you're probably wondering, is how do I make it infinite there? Do I copy this and just keep recurring it back like that? And the answer is no, my friend. DaVinci's actually got a really cool function. If you click on this merge here and go down to edges, change that to wrap, look at that. It automatically wraps everything into the distant. Right, we do actually need to add a background this time. So what we're going to do is we are going to drag in a background, connect it across to this DVE like so. It's coming as a foreground. We know that because this is green. So we're going to click on this merge, right click and hit swap inputs. We now have that. We need to add some glow to that. So clicking on this DVE, we're going to shift spacebar and we're looking for soft glow, which is that one there. Let's just check it. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Right, one final node. Clicking on soft glow here, shift spacebar. This time we're looking for rays, and it's this one here, so be careful. Let's add that. Right, now the way rays works is, do you see this star just here? If I move that, it actually moves the direction of the rays. So what we'll do is we'll set up an animation with that. We'll go to frame 0, and we'll move the rays right up into the top right hand corner like that. Come across to here and hit the keyframe on the position. We're going to go to frame 100, drag the rays down like that, go to frame 200, drag the rays over here, go to frame 280, 280 or 270. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to use the tool this time. I'm going to drag the rays up here like so. And then on the last one, I'm going to drag the ray down, across and down like so. And again, be professional. Click on the node, hit the spline key like that, zoom to fit, select all your keyframes and hit S to smooth. And we are finished apart from one thing, and that is we need to animate the switch node now. We're going to go to frame 0, I'm going to click on the switch node, we're going to click a keyframe on text, we're going to come forward to say frame 70, and we're going to go to box, and you'll see it's automatically created the keyframe. We're going to go to frame 120 or 125 and click on the logo like so. And then go to frame 180. Actually, we're going to leave it there because what we'll do is we'll go up to the spline key just here, zoom to fit, select everything using our favorite key like that. And then what we're going to do is hit ping pong. And let's come out of that and let's play that back. How cool is that? Now the power really comes here in the duplicates. And let me show you what I mean by that. If I click on this first duplicate, come up to the right hand side and see where it says time offset. I'm going to change that to 8. We're going to go to the second duplicate. I'm going to change the time offset to 3, like that. Now watch what happens when I play that back. So how cool is that? So I went back in because for some unknown reason the logo wasn't coming through. So I went in, played with the duplicate time offset, and I played with the switch timing as well. And I would recommend that you do the same to get the look that you're after. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I loved making it. If I've earned it, go down, hit that subscribe button, give me a like. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the below the video. I do read them and I will respond to them. And if you've got any ideas for tutorials, just leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do. See you in the next one.